We break down the shared responsibility model, the most critical concept for anyone moving to the cloud. Many businesses assume that once they migrate to AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, security is automatically handled by the provider. This is a dangerous myth. While providers secure the infrastructure, the security of the cloud, you are entirely responsible for the configuration and data, the security in the cloud. In this lecture, we cover the difference between IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, security obligations, the apartment building analogy that explains cloud liability, real-world examples of S3 bucket leaks and admin account takeovers, a practical checklist for locking down your side of the shared model. These are, like we said, welcome back to Modern Security Blueprint series. In this episode, we're going to talk about something that confuses almost everyone the first time they move to the cloud. The idea that security is shared between you and your cloud provider. If you've ever thought we're in the cloud now, so security is the provider's problem, right? Or we are on-prem. We move to the cloud and magically everything becomes secure. Then this episode is exactly for you. By the end, you'll clearly understand what your cloud provider actually secures, what remains 100% your responsibility, how this works in practice for IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS, common mistakes companies make and how to avoid them, concrete steps you can take to lock down your cloud use. Let's get started. First, let's set the stage. In the past, companies ran everything in their own data centers, their own servers, their own storage, their own networks, their own power, cooling, and physical security. If something went wrong, it was usually pretty clear. If a server was hacked, it was your server. If the network was misconfigured, it was your network. If someone walked into the server room, that was your physical access control problem. With cloud computing, this changes. You no longer own most of the underlying infrastructure. You're renting it from providers like Amazon Web Services, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, GCP, or software as a service providers like Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, Salesforce, and many others. That brings two big changes. You lose some control over the underlying systems. You achieve the ability to misconfigure powerful cloud services in new and interesting ways. This is why the industry talks about shared responsibility. Instead of the provider secures everything. The provider does not secure everything. The shared responsibility model in one sentence. Let's define it in one simple sentence. In cloud security, the provider is responsible for security of the cloud, and you are responsible for security in the cloud. That sounds nice, but it's still abstract, so make it concrete. Security of the cloud is all the stuff the provider owns and directly controls. Think data centers, physical servers, networking fabric, power, cooling, and the base layers of the cloud platform. Security in the cloud. How do you use those services? Think your accounts, your access control, your data, your configurations, your applications. The trap is this. Many people assume that because the provider is world class at security, they magically secure everything. They won't. They can't. Because they don't know what you're putting into the cloud. Who should access it, or what business rules are, or what your business rules are. That's your job. Let's use a simple analogy. Imagine the cloud is an apartment building. The cloud provider is the building owner. They secure the main doors and entrances. They maintain the elevator and fire alarms. They manage CCTV in the corridors. They make sure the building structure is safe. That's the security of the building, or in cloud terms, security of the cloud. You are the tenant. You lock your apartment door. You decide who gets the key. You choose whether your valuables sit near the window in plain view. You decide whether you leave the door unlocked while you're away. That's security in the building, or security in the cloud. If a criminal breaks in through the main building entrance because the lock was broken, that's probably the building owner's fault. If someone walks through your unlocked apartment's door and steals your laptop, that's your responsibility. In the cloud, most security incidents are the equivalent of tenants leaving the apartment doors wide open. Now we'll map this to the classic cloud service models. Infrastructure as a service, IaaS, platform as a service, PaaS, software as a service, SaaS. Think of it as a sliding scale. The more you control, the more security responsibility you have. The less you control, the smaller your technical responsibility, but identity, data, and configurations are always still yours. Let's go through them one by one. IaaS gives you raw building blocks, virtual machines, virtual networks, storage load balances, etc. Example, AWS EC2, Azure virtual machines, Google Compute Engine. Here the provider usually secures physical data centers, physical servers and storage devices, physical networking. The hypervisor that runs your virtual machines you usually must secure. The operating systems of your virtual machine patching, hardening, the software and applications you install, network security rules, firewalls, security groups, identity and access, who can log in, data protection, encryption settings, logging, monitoring, and incident response. If you spin up a virtual machine in AWS, open SSH port 22 to the entire internet, use admin/admin as your password, and store patient data on that server. The provider did not fail you. You misconfigured your apartment door platform as the server takes away more of the underlying complexity. Examples: AWS RDS, managed databases, Azure App Service, Google App Engine. The provider usually secures everything from IaaS plus the managed runtime, database engine, app runtime, containers, orchestration, etc. You usually must secure your application code and logic, your data on the platform, access controls, who can connect, network exposure, public versus private, application level settings, meaning enforcing TLS. So if you use a managed database service but never change the default admin password and expose it to the internet, the provider kept the database service secure, but your use of it was insecure. Software as a service is where many people think, okay, now I really don't need to worry about security anymore. Examples: Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, Salesforce, Workday. The provider usually secures the entire underlying stack, data centers, servers, storage, networking, operating systems, and the application code itself. I think we get the point right now. You usually must secure identity and access, who has an account, what roles they've got, authentication, strength, password, MFA, configuration, data sharing settings, link sharing, external access rules, data lifecycle, what you upload, how long you keep it, integration, which third-party apps can access your data. For example, if you store confidential documents in SaaS app, then create public links that anyone on the internet can access without a password. That is your configuration choice. If we had the diagram in front of us, it would look like this. From bottom to top: physical facilities, physical network, physical servers, virtualization layer, operating systems, middleware runtime, applications, data, users, and access. As you move up the stack, the provider owns the bottom, you own the top. But one thing is always true: you are responsible for your data and for who can access it. Let's look at a few real-world patterns. Mistake 1: public by accident. Storage bucket team creates a object storage bucket. S3 blob. They experiment set it to public for testing and forget. Later they put sensitive data into it. Anyone with a URL can download the data. Responsibility: the provider gave you access controls. You misconfigured them. This falls on the security in the cloud side. Mistake 2: weak or missing MFA on admin accounts. An administrator uses a simple password on their cloud console. The password gets phished. An attacker logs in and deletes backups. Responsibility: the provider gave you MFA options. You didn't enforce them. Mistake 3: override broad permissions to move fast. A team gives every developer full admin rights. If one account is compromised, the attacker has full control. Responsibility. The provider gives fine-grained permissions. You chose not to use them. The pattern is clear. Cloud breaches are often about incorrect customer decisions, not physical attacks on the provider. To be fair, let's outline what the provider really does. Typical provider responsibilities include physical security of data centers, fences, guards, biometrics, environmental protections, power, cooling, fire suppression, hardware security, secure disposal of disks, core platform security, patching hypervisor and OS, network protections, DDoS defenses, backbone isolation. They build and secure the building, but they also give you the locks, alarms, and cameras for your apartment. They do not run them on in the exact way your business needs. That's your job. Let's now flip it and focus on what you must own. Identity and Access Management, IAM. Enforce MFA. Use least privilege. Remove accounts when people leave. Data classification. Decide what data is public versus confidential. Encrypt at rest and in transit. Configure management. Check that services are not unintentionally exposed to the internet. Regularly review your settings. Application security. Secure the code you write. Keep libraries updated. Point 5. Device security. Ensure devices accessing the cloud are patched and secure. Point 6. Monitoring. Turn on login. Set alerts for suspicious activities. You might be wondering, is this model only for AWS? No. All major cloud providers, AWS, Azure, GCP, communicate the same core ID. They secure the platform. You secure how you use it. There is no provider that says, just give us your data and go to sleep. Even if you aren't a cloud architect, this matters. You interact with SaaS apps daily. How you share documents is part of the security in the cloud. You approve tools. When you choose a SaaS app, you accept its security model. Your accounts are keys. If your account is compromised, attackers can move laterally. Scenario 1. Misconfigured file sharing. You create a public link for a sensitive doc. It leaks. Who is responsible? You are. You chose the public link setting. Scenario 2. Platform vulnerability. The SaaS provider finds a bug in their own code that allows access. Who is responsible? The provider. Is their code on their platform. Scenario 3. Compromised cloud admin account. An admin reuses a password. It gets guessed. Who is responsible? You are. You failed to use MFA or unique passwords. As an individual, use strong passwords. Turn on MFA everywhere. Be careful with share buttons. As an organization, enforce MFA. Use groups, roles, not blankets, admin rights. Define data classifications. The goal is not to become paranoid. The goal is to understand where your line of responsibility begins and ends. A few nuances. Contracts, SLAs, defer. Read what is guaranteed. Multi-cloud using multiple clouds multiplies your responsibility to manage different dashboards. Shadow IT. Employees using unauthorized tools creates security risks you can't see. On-prem versus cloud. On-prem isn't automatically safe if you don't patch it. Shared responsibility just redistributes the work. Section 14 recap. Security is shared. Provider is of the cloud. You is in the cloud. More control is responsibility IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. You always own identity, data, and configuration. Most incidents are caused by misconfiguration or weak credentials. In the next episode, we'll bring everything together and talk about how to build a modern, practical security mindset that works across your devices, accounts, data, and cloud. If you found this helpful, share it with your team. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode of Modern Security Blueprint. So that was it.